Welcome back to Snippet Coder, and we are back with another video. In this video we will learn how to create bottom navigation for all modules, and we will create the categories module in which we will have the search category, then we have the add category button, then we have the data table with sorting, and we have the edit and delete button here. So from here in the search category we can search any of the category, like if we search here baby care and we click on the search button, and here we are getting the data directly from the server, not from the data table. And also we have the sorting function also. If I click on the name, it will sort on the basis of the API, and we are getting here on the basis of the sorting. Then we have the add edit button and the add category button that we will cover in our next video. So before starting the video, if you are new to our channel, subscribe the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you. So we are going to use provider statement in our application, and we have to import this provided package in our application, and we will copy from here and we will open here PubSpec, and from here we will put the. After doing that, make sure you are using the latest version of the Snippet Coder utils, because we are ongoing adding more and more feature in that package, and so make sure you are using the latest version so that you can have the latest feature in our application. So now let's move to the coding part, and let's create one model file, that is category model, and here we will create one new file, that is category underscore model or dot file, and here we will create one class, and the name of the class is category model. Then we have the variables here, and the first one is the int type of ID, that is a category ID. Then we have a string type of name, that is a category name. Then we have int type of parent, that will tell us that this categories belong to any parent category or not. Then we have that string type of description. Then we will have the string type of image, and here we will get the constructor here, this dot id, this dot name, this dot parent, this dot description, this dot image. Then we have to do the mapping here, and we will have category model dot from JSON. The parameter we will have map string dynamic, and name of the variable is JSON. Then here we will have id is equal to JSON id. Then we will have name here is equal to JSON name. Then we have the parent here, JSON parent. So we are just using a limited number of variables here so that we can speed up our application instead of picking all the unnecessary APIs variables. So we are just picking all those which are necessary for our application. Then we will have description here is equal to JSON description. Then we will have the image here, JSON image. Then here we will create two JSON, and that will be used for our add edit functionality, map string dynamic to JSON. And here we will create one variable final map string dynamic data is equal to new of map string dynamic. Then we will create here data id is equal to this dot id, data name is equal to this dot name, data parent is equal to this dot parent, data description is equal to this dot description. Then we will have data image is equal to this dot image. So now the model file is ready. So now we will move to the home page, and there we will create the bottom navigation for the application. And here we will have a home page dot file, and here we will create one class file, class navbar model. So this file will be created basically for our navigation bar, and we will create one model file which will have title, icon and color, and we will make a list of all the information, and on the basis of that we will get the navigation bar. We have the first variable, that is title. Then we will have icon data, and here we will have icon. Then we have a string color. Then we have the constructor here, this dot title, this dot icon, this dot color. So now we will create the title list, and that will be on the basis of the list navbar model underscore title list is equal to, and here we will create the array here, and that array will be the all the modules which we will have in our bottom navigation. And first one will have navbar model dashboard, and the icon we are using here home icon. And then we have the color here, and we are using here this one. Then we have our second one, that is categories, and we are using here category icon, and the color we are using here A50606, and this is the red color, and the above one will be the blue color. Then we will have third one, that is products, and the icon we are using here image icon. Then we have the color here, and we are using here 6D7T600. Then we have that fourth one, that is customer, and the icon we are using a group icon, and the color we are using here this one. Then we have the last tab, that is orders. The icon we are using here shopping underscore basket, and the color we are using here C604CA. So here we will create one variable that is int type of underscore index, and this will be used for our selected index for our navigation bar. Then we will modify our scaffold widget, and here we will add bottom navigation bar, and here we will use bottom navigation bar, and here we will add selected item color, and we are using here colors.black color. And then we will have unselected item color, and we are using here colors.gray color. And then we have the type here, and we are using here bottom navigation bar type, and we are using here fix. That means we are having all that navigation icons will be fixed with the label. Then we have the current index, and we are using here that variable, that is index variable. Then we have the on tap event, and from here we are getting the index, and we are setting the index here by using set state here. Index is equal to index. Then we have the items here, and we are using here underscore title list array, which we have created above this one dot map, and we are doing here mapping here, and we will change it to navbar. And from here we will return bottom navigation bar item, and here we have the icon here, and we are using here icon, and we are picking it from the model here dot icon. Then we have the color here, and for the color we are using here hex color, and this class will become from our snippet coder utilities, and that you have to import. And here we have to pick from the model.color. Then we have the title here, and for the title we are using a text model.title here, and the title has been deprecated. We instead of that we can also use label here, and we can just pass here model.title, and here we will put to list. So now let's run the application. So before doing that we have to do some more modification here, and we have to create one more widget here, and that widget will be used, that will be a widget array, and that will be used whenever any user click on any of that navigation, and that will be mapped to that particular page. And here we will have list widget underscore widget list, and here we have the array here. So in the widget list we have to make sure that number of it will be as per the number of the tabs which we have. According to that we have to get the number of widget also. Like here we have 1 2 3 4 5, so we have a particular 5 tabs here, and we have to create a 5 widgets. So right now we are not creating any page here, we are just putting a container widget, and we will copy paste, and here in the body we will change it to underscore widget list, and we will pick from our index. So now let's run the application to see that navigation bar is working or not. So here we are getting all the navigation here, that is dashboard, category, then we have the products here, then we have the customer here, then we have the orders here. So if I click on the category here, we are getting to that container, then we are going to products, customer, and then we have the orders here. So now we will create one base file that will be used for all these navigations. Now we will create one new file, that is base file, and we will go here base underscore page.dart file, and that base file will be used for all our bottom navigation pages, so that we don't have to do the repeated code again and again for that our app button and logout button or any other functionality which will be common for all the modules. And we will making it as a stateful widget base page, and here we will change it to base page state, and we will extend it with dynamic page name, extend generic page name, and here we have state, and here we will pass t. Now here we will add one variable name, that is string page title, and this will be used for our page title to display in our app bar, and that we can modify in our all the pages. Here we will create one widget, and this widget will be override from all the pages which are using this base page, and from here we will return null here, and this page UI we will return from the build. And here we will create scaffold widget, and in the body we are passing a page UI, and here we have the app bar here, and that we will create here widget underscore build app bar, and from here we will return app bar. Then we have the title here, and we are using a text, and we are passing here page title. Then we have the elevation here, and we are using a 0. Then here we have to make our back button also, and we are putting here automatically imply leading true. Then we have the background color here, and we are using here from the theme of context dot primary color. Then we have the actions here, and these actions will be used for displaying our logout button. And here we will have icon button, and here we have the icons dot logout button. And then we have the on press event also, and here we have the color here, and we're using a colors dot black color. And we will pass this build app bar from here. In the on press, we are calling here shared service dot logout. And then we will put here size box for some spacing width, and we are using a 10. Then we will create here override void dispose method super dot dispose. So now we will create one more page here, and we will name it as a categories list dot dart file. And here we will create one more folder here, that is categories folder, and we will create all the folder for every modules. So here we are putting here category list page inside our category folder, and we will make it as a stateful visit categories list. And here we will use the base page, and here we will have base page. So now instead of putting here build visit, and we are putting here page UI, and we are overriding it. And here we will remove this context here, and from here we will return child text visit just for the testing categories list. Now we will use this category list here in our home page. Instead of showing here container, we will show here category list. So now let's run the application to see is it working or not. So here if I click on the categories, now you can see here we are getting our category list page. If I click again on the dashboard, we're getting the other page. So now we have to remove this app bar from our home page because it is just duplicating our app bar. From here we will remove the app bar from our home page. Now let's reload the application. So now we don't have any app bar, so when we click on the category, we are getting the app bar also, but the title is not coming because we have not added any title here. So what we will do for that, we will come here and we will overwrite void initialize state super dot initialize state, and here we will have this dot page title is equal to categories. So now if I reload the application, so now you can see here page title is coming here. So now let's move to our other part of the application, and we will create one search bar here, and also we will create one button for the add categories. So now we will create one utility, and that utility will be used as a search bar and a add button that will be used in our all modules. Now we will create here folder that is utils folder, and here we will create one file that is search bar underscore utils dot file, and here we will create the class file that is search bar utils, and here we will create one widget and we will make it as a static widget search bar. And here we will add the parameters. First one is a build context, then we have the string key name, then we have the string placeholder, then we have the string add button label, then we have the function on search tab, then we have the function on add button tab. So now here we will create one variable that is string value is equal to empty. Then here from here we will return row visit, and inside that row visit we will have two visits. First one is for the text box for the searching, and the second one is for the add button that will be for adding the data, and we are making it as a dynamic here. That's why we are passing the parameter. Key name will be the name of that control, search control. Then we have the placeholder that we have to show inside the text box. Then we have the add button, and we are passing here the label name for that add button. Then we have the two functions that we are passing from this function, that is callback function for the on search tab and for on add button tab. And here we will have main axis alignment, and we are using a main axis alignment dot space between. And then we have the children's here, and the first one we are using a form helper, and we are using a snippet coder utility, and we are using a input field visit, and we are passing a context. Then we have the icon here, and we can pass any icon here. Instead of hint text we are passing a placeholder. Then we have that on validate, which is not required in our case. Then we have the on save, that will also not required. Then we have on change event, which we have introduced in our latest package of snippet coder utilities, and here we will have on change event, and that will be used whenever user input any text in our text box, and that will be taken from the user on the on change event. And we are assigning this on change value with this value val is equal to on change value. and this variable we have created here. And then we have that show prefix icon, and we are not showing any prefix icon here, that's why we make it as a false. And then we have the suffix icon that will be used for our search icon, and here we are creating a container, and here we have the child here, and we are using a gesture detector, and here we have the child, and we are using an icons.search icon. And then we have the on tab event, and from here we are returning on search tab. It should be tab, not tab. Then we are passing here the value which we are getting from on change event. Then we have the border focus color, and we are using here theme of dot primary color. And then we have the border color, and we are using the same. Then we have the border radius, and we are using a 10, and padding left we are using 0, and the container height we are using a 50. And then we have the container width, and we are using here 250. After this we are creating here a button that will be used for add category, and that will be common for all the modules. And we have the form helper dot submit button, and here we have the button text, and we are using a add button text. And then we have that on tab event, and from here we are returning on add button tab. And then we have the border radius, and we are using 10. Then we have the width here, and we are using here 100, and the font size we are using here 12. So what we are doing here, we have created one utility file, and inside that we are having, and then we have one widget here that will be search bar, and there we have the parameters that is context, key name, placeholder. Then we have the add button label, then we have the on search tab, then we have the on add button tab. Then we have created one variable that is val, and that will be used for storing the value on the on change event. Then we have created the row widget. Inside that we are having two childs. First one is for input field widget, and that will be used as a search text box, and we are passing all the values here. Then we have second child that is submit button, and that would be used for the add button. So now let's consume this code search bar in our category list page, and we will go to the category list, and from here we have the container, and we will replace this container with the column widget. And we are using a main axis alignment dot start. Then we have the cross axis alignment dot start. And then we have the children's here, and here we will pass search bar utils dot search bar, and here we have to pass the key name. In the key name we are using a str category. Then we have the placeholder, we are putting here search category. And then we have the add button label, and we are putting here add category. And then we have the on search event that will be covered later on. And then we have the on add button that also will be covered later on. So now let's run the application to see that search bar is coming or not. So here you can see we are getting the search bar, but there is some padding issue. So let's add some padding here, and we will wrap it with padding, and we have the child here. And then we have to provide a padding, and we are using it as instant.all, and we are using it 10. So now you can see the padding is coming properly here. So now let's move further to add our data table, and that data table will be used from our Snippet Code utilities package. So let's add some dummy data, and for doing that we have to create one list that is of category model categories, and we will initialize here categories is equal to new of list category model dot empty growable true. That means we are initializing it with a empty, and that list will be going to be grow. That means we are going to add data in this list. That is not a fixed list. And then from here we will add the data here categories dot add, and from here we will add new category model, and here we will have ID 1, and then we have the name here baby care. And then we have the description here that is baby care products. Again we will copy this, and we will add another ID is 2, and then we have the grocery here, and here we have the grocery products. Now we will modify here, and here we have the divider here, and the color we are using here theme of dot primary color. So here you can see divider is coming here. So now we will add the data table, and that data table will be coming from our Snippet Code utilities. And for doing that we will put here list utils dot build data table, and here we have to add the parameters. So now here we have to put the class name that is category model. Then we have the context here. Now here we have to put the columns here that will be used as a label for our data table. That is first column will be name, then we have the description here, and here we have to put the field name which will be mapped with our data table and our collection of data. First one will be name, then we have the description here, Then we have the sort ascending, we are putting as a true, and later on we will cover this part also. Then we have the sort column index and we are putting here 0. Sorting will be based on first column. Then we have the list of data and we are putting here categories. Then we have the on tap event for on edit value, and we will print here the value. Then we have the on delete event, and here also we will print the value when the delete button is clicked. So now let's reload the application. So here we are getting the error, that is method contain key was colon null, that is coming from our utility. So I think we have missed something, and let's go to the model file. So from here we have missed to return that data, and here we will put return data. Now let's reload the application to see is it working or not. So here you can see data is coming here, the data table is working fine, and we are also getting the sorting also. That will not work as of now, we have to modify the code and all that, then it will work. So now let's modify our header also, and for doing that we will put here header row color, and we are using here theme of context dot primary color. Now you can see here the color is matching with our application color. We can also set the height of our row also, and here we can also change it to 100. So now you can see the size has been changed. Put here 50, you can see size is coming to 50. We can do according to our need. So what we are doing here, we are using our Snippet code utility, and from there we are using our list utils, and we are building here our data table, and from there we are passing the context. Then we have the column name, that is column label, and then we have the column field names that will be matched with our data, with our data model, this one. Then we have that our sorting ascending order, then we have the column index for our sorting, then we have the data, and we are passing a categories. Then we have our on edit button, and so here we are not getting any edit or delete button because we have not added the extra field here. For doing that we have to put here empty column. So now if I reload the application, so you can see here we are getting our two icons. First one is for the edit button, and the second one for the delete button. So now if I click on any of the icon, you can see here we are getting the value, and for picking the value we have to map it with our category model. Here we will have .id. Also we can print the name also. So now if I again click on the icon, we are getting here id, then we are getting our label, that is value here. If I click on the second one, you can see here we are getting here 2, then we are getting here second category name. Same we can do for our delete also. And if I click on the first delete, we are getting this information. If I click on the second delete, we are getting this information. So now let's move further to implement our API service and get all this data from the API. Then after that we will implement the search category, then we will implement the sorting here. So now we will add one function in our API service class, and we will go here in our API service, and here we will create one function that is future type of list category model, and name of the function is get categories. Then we have the parameters here. First one is the string type of str search, and then we have the string type of sort by, then we have the string type of sort order, and all these parameters are optional here. And by default we are showing an ascending order. And then we have the boolean type of parent categories, and by default we are making it as a true. Then here we have to create the request headers, and for that we have to create here map of string request headers is equal to, and here we have the content type application JSON. Then from here we will get the login detail from our shared service here, and we will have one variable here, login details is equal to await, and we will make this function as a async here, shared service dot login details, and here we are getting all the login detail like host URL, then we are getting here key and secret key also. Then here we will create one more variable for our query string here, and we will have here map string query string, and here we have the consumer underscore key login details dot key. And then we have the consumer underscore secret login details dot secret. Then we will check here if str string is not of null, then we will pass in our query string search is equal to str search. And same we are doing for the parent category also, and we will check here if parent category is true, then we are passing here parent id is equal to 0. Same we will do for sort by also is equal to not of null. Then here we will have query string order by is equal to sort by. Then we will check here if sort order is not of null. Then we will pass here order is equal to sort order. Now query strings are ready here. So now we will create here URL, and for doing that we have to create one variable, that is where type of URL is equal to URI.https. We are calling here HTTP request here, and for the URL host we are picking from our login details.host. Then we have the endpoint here, and we have WP JSON. Then we have wc/v3/products/categories. Then we have to pass a query string here. So now we will do here request here, HTTP request, and we will have where response is equal to await client.getRequest. As we are doing here get request here, and we are passing a URL, then we are passing a request header, and here we will have headers, and we are passing a request headers. Then we will check here if response.status code is equal to 200, that means request is successfully done. Then we are doing here decoding part here, and for doing that we have to go over model file class, and from here we will add one function here, and here we will have return type of list category model categories from JSON, and here we have the dynamic str. Then from here we will return list category model dot from str dot map, and here we will have category model from JSON, and here we will pass this map. So what we are doing here, we have created one function that is category from JSON, and we are doing all the mapping here, and on the basis of that JSON we are doing the list mapping, and inside that we are doing the mapping for the category model. And here we will return, and here we will return categories from JSON, and here we will pass JSON.decode, and we will import it this dart.convert, and here we will pass response.body. In the else condition we are putting here null. So what we are doing here, we have created one function that is get categories, and we have the parameter for search str search, then we have sort by, then we have sort order, then we have parent categories, and we are putting here true, by default true. Then we are making here request headers, then we have the login details here, then we have the query strings here, then we have str search, and we are checking here if the str search is not of null, then we are putting the query string for the search, and we are passing str search here. Then we are checking here if the parent category is true, then we are passing parent is equal to 0, and here we are checking here if the sort by is not of null, then we are putting here query string for the order by, and we are passing here sort by variable. Then we are checking here if the sort order is not of null, that means we are passing here ascending or descending, and here we are creating one query string for the order, and we are passing mapping it with that sort order variable. Then we are creating the URL here, and we are creating a URL with uri.https, and we are taking the login detail.host from our shared service, this one. Then we are putting here endpoint, the endpoint is wp JSON, and this one is /wc/v3, then we have /products/categories, then we have here query string, and we are putting here query strings here. Then we are calling here get client.getRequest, and we are passing a URL, then we have the header here, we are passing a request header. Then we are checking here if the request response.status code is 200, then we are returning a category from JSON, and we are doing a decoding part, and we are passing a response.body, and in the else condition we are returning a null. So now we will create one provider file, and that will be used for fetching the data from the API and showing that data in our UI. And here we will create one folder that is provider folder, and here we will create categories underscore provider dot file, and here we will create one class file, class categories provider with change notifier. Then we will create the object for API service, and here we will create, then we have the list category model underscore category list, then we have the list category model get categories list, and we are picking it from our private variable, that is categories list. Then we have to create one variable for total records, and we are fetching from categories list dot length dot to double. Then we have to create a constructor here, and here we have to initialize our class, that is API service class is equal to API service. And then we have to make our category list is equal to null. Then we have to create one method that is for reset streams. This is basically used for resetting our API service class. Then we have to reset our category list and all. API service is equal to new of API service. And then we have category list is equal to null. And from here we will call notify listener. Then we have to create the function here, fetch categories. And here we will pass string str search, string sort by, string sort order, and we will make it as async here. And here we will create one variable list category model. Categories list is equal to await of API service dot get categories, and here we will pass str search is equal to str search. Then we have sort by, then we have sort order, and here we will check if underscore categories list is equal to null. Then we will create the object here, underscore categories list is equal to new of list category models dot empty growable true. And here we will check if categories list dot length is more than 0, that means we are getting the data. Then we will make our category list is empty, and we can assign here by category list dot add all. And from here we will add all the data from our category list to our private variable. Then we will call here notify listener. So what we are doing here, we have created one variable that is category list, and we are calling here API function for get categories, and we are calling here API request here, and we are assigning here all the variables here with the API variables. Then we are checking here if the category list variable is null, then we are creating the object here, and then we are checking here if that REST API list is data is more than 0, that means we are getting the data. Then we are making our list as an empty list, and then we are adding all the data in our list, and here we are calling the notify listener. So now let's implement the API with our UI part by using our provider class. So now we will go to our main.dart file, and from there we will integrate our API with our provider file, and here we will change return multi-provider, and here we have the providers here, and we have to import here provider class, and here we have to add change notifier provider, and here we have the create context, and then we have the categories provider, then we have the child here, and we are using this category provider in our category list page. Then we have the child here, and child we are using the same code, and from here we will return remove the return here. Now main.dart file is updated. So now let's move to our category list page, and from there we will integrate our category provider, and here we will comment this line of code, and we will comment this one also. So now here we will have where category provider is equal to provider of categories provider. Then we have the context here, then listen false. Then we will call here category provider dot fetch categories, and this will fetch our categories. Now we will create one widget here, and we will name it as a category list UI. And from here we will return new consumer categories provider. Then we will have the builder here, context model child. Then here we will check if model dot category list is not of null, and model of category list dot length is more than 0. Then we will return here our this code build data table, and we will cut code from here, and we will paste here. So here instead of showing from category, we will show from models dot category list, and from here we will put return. Now by default we will show here return center, and we will have child circular progress indicator. And now we will call this category list UI from here after divider. So now let's run the application to see the data is coming from the API or not. So now if I click on the categories, the loader is loading here, and we will get data from our API. Now we are getting all the data from our API. So you can see here we are getting the name of the category, then we are getting here description of the category, then we have both that edit and delete button. So now here we are getting this HTML code of and that we can change from here. We will go to our model file, and from here we will do to string dot replace all, and here we will put, and we will replace it with our and sign, and same we will do for the description also. Now let's reload the application. Now you can see here that HTML code is not coming here. So now let's move to the last part of the video, that is search category and the sorting part. So now let's create search and sorting feature also in the application, and for doing that we have to create one provider file, and we will create here search bar underscore provider dot dart file, and here we will create one class file, class sort model, and this will be used for our sorting purpose. And we will have three variables here: int type of sort column index, and then we have a string type of sort column name, and then we have a boolean type of sort ascending, then we have the constructor here, this dot sort column index, this dot sort column name, this dot sort ascending. Now we will create one class search bar provider with change notifier, then we have the sort model here, sort model get, and we will get the public variable of sort model. Then we have the constructor here, and we will initialize our sort model class new of sort model. Then we have sort model dot sort column index, and we have by default we are putting as a first column as is sort index. Then we have sort model dot ascending, and we are making it as a false. Then we have set sort method, and here we are passing int type of column index, and then we have a string type of sort column name, and then we have a boolean type of ascending. Then we are assigning the value here, sort model dot sort ascending is equal to ascending. And then we have sort model dot column index is equal to column index. Then we have sort model dot column name is equal to column name, and here we will call notify listener. What we are doing here in the set sort, we are just passing three variables. First one is a column index, then we have sort column name, then we have a ascending order, and we are assigning these value to our sort model class. Then we are calling a notify listener. Now we will modify our main.dart file also, and here we will copy this, and here we will change it to search bar provider, and this one we will change to base page, because we are going to use this search bar in our all pages and where we are using our base page. So now let's modify our category list page, and there we will implement searching and the sorting feature. And we will modify our category list UI, and here instead of passing hard-coded value of true, we are just picking from our provider file, provider of search bar provider, and then we have the context here, and then we have listen true, because whenever any value will be changed, we have to listen the updated value for this change. That's why we are making it as a true here. And then we have sort model dot sort ascending. The same we are doing for the column also, and we are changing here as a dot sort column index. Now we will add new function here, that is for sort index on sort function, and here we are getting three values. First one is a column index, second one is a column name, then we have a ascending. Now here we will call our function, that is set sort, and we are using this provider. And listening we are doing false, because we are not listening to any update here. We are just calling the function here dot set sort, and here we have to pass our values. First one is a column index, then we are having column name, then we are having ascending here. So once its sort status has been set to our provider, then we will call here API hit. So for doing that, we have to pass here, we have to create one variable for category provider is equal to provider of categories provider. Then we have the context here, and the listen we are doing here false. Then we are calling here category provider dot reset stream, and we will reset all the variable so that it will treat it as a new hit to the server. Then we have category provider dot fetch categories, and from here we will pass the sort by, and we have to pass a column name which we are getting from this on sort function. Then we have the sort order here, and we will check here if ascending, then we will pass ASC, else we will pass DSC, descending order. Now let's run the application to see the sorting is working or not. So now if I click on the categories, data is getting loaded from the server by using REST API get request. So now the data is coming here. Now sorting is by default on the name column, and now if I click again on the name column for change the sort order, first record is baby care. Now the order has been changed to the another order. So now you can see we are getting a vegetable and fruits. So now if I again click here, the sorting order will change. If I click on the description here, now the sorting will be on the basis of the description. So now let's move to the last part of the video, that is search category, and for doing that we have to do some modification in our code. So we will go to our code, and here we will have search category, and here we are getting the value here. If you go here in the search bar, you can see after add button label we are having a function on search tab, and we are passing a value here. So if we print this value, now if I put something here, baby care, so before that we are getting this red line, that is because of that pixel issue and all. For doing that we have to put here single child role view, and here we have the child. Now we will close it. Now if I again open the keyword, so now we are not getting any error. So here if I put some value, that is baby, and if we click on the search button, now you can see here we are getting that text. Now this text we will send in the API. For doing that we have to add a code here, and we have to maintain the sorting order also, and that value we will pick from our provider file, and we will have sort model is equal to provider of search bar provider context, then we have the listen here false dot sort model. Then we will have where category provider is equal to provider of categories provider context listen false. Then we will call here category provider dot reset stream, and we will reset all the collection. Then we will call here category provider dot fetch categories, and here we will pass sort by, and we are picking from the sort model dot sort by column name. Then we have sort order, and we are using a sort model dot sort ascending, and we are checking here if ascending, then we are passing here ASC, else we are passing here DSC. Then we have the str search here, and we are passing here value. So now let's reload the application to see is it working or not. So now we are getting the data. Now let's search some text, and here we will put personal care, and we have this category here. So now if I click on the search icon, it will give hit to the server and getting a result on the basis of that search. Now you can see here we are getting the result on the basis of the search string. Now if I clear this search and again click here, it will fetch all the data. Now if I again search for something else like staples, if I click on the search here, we are getting this data. So now the sorting is also maintaining with the search. So that's all in this video. I hope you like the video. In the next video we will cover add category plus edit and delete functionality. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. I will come back soon with another awesome videos. Thank you all.